You quite excited about Monday night?
Yeah, looking forward to it. I mean, obviously the last game against both teams was a really entertaining game. Obviously very dramatic finish in terms of us getting that late goal to take all 3 points on the night. But it was a great occasion, to be involved in. I think the players, the atmosphere generated by both sets of fans, a full house. A real understanding from the players of what it means to the supporters, and we put in a really good performance in that second 45. The first half we didn't play particularly well, and I thought Dundee were the better team, but the second half I thought we looked a lot more like ourselves, and we have to start the game in that fashion on Monday to make sure we get the result.
Every game, we're just talking to Glenn about it there, every game against your close neighbours, though, they're a bit like cup ties anyway, because you've got to give your all. Everybody gives everything, because you don't want to lose out. Is there anything more at stake though, because this is a cup tie, and one of you is going to be out of the tournament come Monday night?
Look, obviously, the bragging rights and everything comes into it with regards to the supporters, but we've set ourselves targets at the beginning of the season, and cup runs was one of those things that we spoke about. Now, we managed to get to the quarter final in the League Cup, so we definitely want to try and go a bit farther in this competition, but we've got a big hurdle to get over first on Monday evening, if that's going to be the case. But I don't think anybody cares a great deal in these derby games about the overall performance. It's the end result that they want, and we have got a way that we want to play, and we want to be entertaining, and we want to get the ball down. But very often in these games, because of what's at stake and the nerves that are involved in it, sometimes it can be a real dogfight. And but my boys have shown, over the last few months that they're more than capable of that. No other than last Saturday against St Mirren, another really difficult physical team. They rose to the challenge on that occasion. They rose to the challenge the last time we played at Dens Park just recently, and I would expect them to do the same on Monday.
You brought a number of new players in over the year, Jim. How have they bought into what's required in these derbies to come out on top? How have you managed to get the message across to them?
Listen, we try and educate the players in terms of the history of the club before they come here anyway, and that's a big selling point to any new players when you bring them in, is about the size of the club, the facilities here, and obviously the fan base that we've got, and I think we've probably increased the fan base this season, when you compare it to years gone by, because clearly the supporters are enjoying what they're seeing. So there's a really good positive feel-good factor about the place, and it's just important that we keep that going. And a disappointing performance or a disappointing result in these types of games can sometimes let that good feeling disappear. So we have to make sure we don't allow that to happen. But the players and the staff are well aware of what this particular fixture means to our supporters, and the commitment levels and the desire and everything that you would expect will be there from our team.
Does your team talk change in a game like this?
Not really, no. I mean, we train and prepare the same, every game regardless of the opposition. But in all of the games that we've played against each other up to now, against Dundee, there hasn't been a great deal between either team on the day, and we found that a lot in the Premiership this season. It's been real small margins that have separated the winning team from the losing team. So I was at the game midweek when Dundee played Celtic, and I thought they were excellent. I thought particularly in the second half, lots of energy, lots of aggression, caused Celtic a lot of problems, and we're really unlucky not to get a historic win against Celtic. But I'm sure Tony Docherty will be looking for a repeat performance from his players. So that is not a bad thing for us. For them coming into the game off the back of that good performance probably makes our players realise that they have to be at it again. We can't allow standards to drop. If we are going to progress in this competition, then we really need to be at it from the first minute.
Finally, for me, both teams seem to have a never say die attitude. That means obviously there's 90 minutes, There could be extra time. There could be penalties. This is going to be, or could be, one of the big dramatic nights of the season, couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's got to be good fitness levels within the group to keep going right to the end, and I think that's something that we've worked really hard on from pre-season. And the demands that we put on the players in training are all for those moments that you see at the end of games. A lot has been made about the late goals that we've been able to get all season, but I don't put it down to good fortune or luck. If it happens as often as it happens, then it's definitely not luck. The games nowadays, they can go on for in excess of 100 minutes sometimes when you see the added time going on. So it shouldn't be a surprise to people that late goals are scored, and that's testament to the group that they've got that never say die attitude, and they keep going right till the last kick of the ball. And regardless of whether we're winning a game or whether we're trailing, that positive mindset remains to be there, and the whole squad has bought into that. We've tried to drill that home right from the beginning, that this is our mentality as a team. Even in training and small-sided games, it's the same. They never ever give up, and that's a really great trait to have, because you can't really coach that. It's got to be in you as a character and as a person, and I think we've shown this season we've got that in abundance.
Jim, can I check team news ahead of Monday?
We're actually in a decent place in terms of players coming back from injury. The game will probably come too soon for the likes of Craig Sibbald and David Babunski, but Louis Moult last weekend kind of dragged himself off the medical bed, if you like, and done everything that he could to make himself available, going to the lengths of getting an injection to try and numb the pain in his shoulder, and obviously came on and scored a dramatic late winner. So we're in good shape at the moment. There's a real confidence and positivity about the place, and once we get Sibbald and Babunski back in, then we'll have a clean bill of health.
In terms of transfers, are you looking to bring anyone else in? Are you close to bringing in anyone else in?
Yeah, I think we're quite close with one definitely, and possibly two, but there's still a little bit of time before the game on Monday to try and get at least one of those over the line. But we're no different to any other team out there. We maybe don't have the resources and the funds available to us like some teams do to go out and pay fees for players, but the recruitment up to now, I think, has been very, very good. We do a lot of hard work behind the scenes to make sure that we identify good targets, and then there's a lot of hard work goes on to try and get these deals over the line. So I do believe that we are close with one, possibly two. Whether we can get those done in time for the Dundee game on Monday will remain to be seen.
What type of players do you need in the squad just now?
Well, we've been running with three strikers, senior strikers, all season. Obviously, Owen Sturton comes into that, but still lacks that experience of playing, regularly at the Premiership level. So I think we're still a little bit light at the top end of the pitch. We've had to go without Moult for a considerable period of time, which has left us only Van der Sande and Dalby. So we want to make sure we don't find ourselves in that situation going into the latter stages of the season. And I also think midfield area and potentially a little bit of cover in the back line. So two, possibly three positions that we're looking for at the moment.
But your hope is that at least one will be in for Monday?
Well, 50-50 right now regarding Monday, but the chief executive and Michael Kearney, my head of recruitment, are working really, really hard to try and get these deals over the line. But it's not quite as easy or as straightforward as people might think. We've identified good players who have also got other options, and sometimes the parent clubs are trying to get another deal done in order to free up that player. So there's a lot of pieces that need to fall into place, but I've got great support from the board. They backed me in the summer to bring in 13 new faces. They've backed me again this window to add a little bit more quality, just to make sure that we keep that strength and depth in the squad and to try and maintain the position that we're in right now.
And has your league performance and position perhaps accelerated any sort of recruitment plans, or made it easier, given that for selling the club to the players you're sitting in third place?
Well, definitely it does. trying to bring players into a relegation battle can sometimes be difficult, but when you're at the other side of it, when you're trying to bring players into the position that we're in right now in the Premiership, then of course it is a much easier sell to them. The fact that we've had such good success with the loans that we brought in, the 4 guys are mainstays in the team and have been very successful. Added to that, the new signings we brought in the summer. I think we've put ourselves in a really good position. We've got some great relationships with agents and with clubs, built up over the years from myself and Michael, and we're actually getting phone calls from them now to try and for us to bring their players here, which is brilliant. So we're not having to beg and plead with anybody, but I must stress, it's not about bringing players in to take the place of anyone else within the squad. It's just about strengthening. We do not want to leave ourselves short in those really important games, prior to the split. And we just need to make sure that we've got enough strength and depth to cope with the fixtures at that point.
And in a similar vein, obviously last season in the Championship, most of the focus was on winning that league, getting back up to the Premiership, and now being in the position you are in the league and the success you've had, does that allow you to put more focus and more energy into these cup competitions and trying to make a run to the far point of it?
Look, obviously, I think for the majority of the teams in the Scottish Premiership, I think the league is the most important thing before the ball is kicked. But obviously, a good cup run can be great for a number of different reasons. The supporters are desperate for us to get a day out of the National Stadium. Financially, from a club's perspective, the prize money can be certainly very, very helpful. And yeah, look, we don't put any extra pressure on the players. We treat every game just as important as the next one, and whether it's league or cup, we want to go out and perform and do well and give a good showing of ourselves. Obviously Monday evening live on the telly, in front of a full house, it doesn't get much better than that as a footballer. So there's not a lot I need to say in the team talk to try and raise the players for those types of games. So it's a great game to look forward to for both sets of supporters and for both sets of players, and just hopefully we do enough on the night to come out on top.
Just finally, obviously on the derby, you're looking at the club's record in recent years. It's 8 games unbeaten now in the derby, 4 wins, 4 draws. And do you take any notice of that going into the game, or is that something that provides the players with extra motivation to keep that one going?
No, I don't really like talking about it, because unfortunately these great runs need to come to an end at some point or another. I just hope I'm not the man in charge when it does. So we've given a really good account of ourselves in the derbies up to now. As I said to you, there's not been a great deal between either sets of players on the day. I don't focus on what happened in the past, really, to be honest. We've trying to live in the present moment and try and focus on the players that are here, and just try and get the job done on Monday, by hook or by crook. Whether we play well on the day or we don't, it's about winning and making sure we're in the next round of the competition.